V12 Yoga, 10 Toes Down. I have special guests with us. You know, Ade and I are always wanting to bring people who influence our life, people who keep us grounded, and people who bring this amazing energy to V12. And today we have Stacy Shepherd, who is one of our amazing friends here that teaches our yoga teacher training at V12. And of course, we have Ade here with us joining the conversation.
What's happening? Everything is good in my park.
He brings the humor, as you all know, and I try to reel it all back in when he goes crazy.
Left.
So we have Stacy here to kind of go in between us. Right. Yeah. The keep us grounded here. But Stacy, we've been wanting to bring you to talk because you have been, this is going to be our second teacher training in August, but not just that, you have brought so many people to the studio, but just your energy and heart. I felt like you were just a sister as soon as I met you. I've been wanting to meet you for a very long time, and I love how serendipitous, you know, Lee, we came together and just and now doing our thing. Go ahead.
I'm in class. Start out with a check-in.
Check-in. So the way we kick off our podcast, we always do a one-word check-in, or just check in on where you're at today, what you're feeling, and then at the end we do our little check-out on how you're feeling. So give us your check-in, Stacy, on today and just anything.
I'm excited. Excited is the word that comes to mind.
Yeah.
I just left physical therapy before I came here, I have to say. And you guys, I had a shoulder replaced like 10 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And I've got like almost my full range of motion back. We're starting strength training next week. But I believe it's because of the lifestyle I lead and the people I surround myself with and the energy I keep that keeps me healthy and healing quickly.
Oh,
so
wow.
I'm excited. I'm really excited.
That's it.
So much.
That's
And
your word.
y'all, it's an honor to be here. I want to say that. Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, I love it. It's like family. That's why we do it on the couch like
Turn
this.
my
It's
head.
just- You're in the living room.
We're in the living room.
What's your check-in, Ade?
I'm feeling worthy
Aww.
today. That's how I
I
feel.
love that.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite songs.
I just had a phone call yesterday, as you know, and you know, it has nothing to do with yoga, with my fight. So I was like, woke up this morning, I was like, handle everything, and all that hard work, you know, is just paying off. So that's how I'm feeling right now.
That's very good.
I feel really blessed. I guess that's my word. Blessed that every morning I wake up, do my gratitude prayers. But I feel really blessed that there was no rush today. You know, when you work in corporate America for so long and you have to be somewhere and you're still training yourself, like, I'm not in that hustle kind of push. I was like taking my time. I meditated this morning. I just made my coffee. Then I come in here and I'm like, oh, we're really blessed to have each other and to have space to be able to create, you know, so that's my word. Awesome. Well, let's dive in, of course, as always. Dive into Stacy, why we're here.
Miss Shepherd.
I tell people all the time, like the Good Shepherd.
Yes,
Good
the Good
Shepherd.
Spelled that
Shepherd.
way. Yes.
I love
Spell
it.
it with your chest. No.
See, this is the clown. This is the fun that we
love
have
it.
with
I love
Ade.
I have a couple questions
Okay.
for you. You know, just diving in. My question to you, because I've been to your classes, and I love the way you teach. Can you give the audience a little bit of background on how you got into teaching and also the way you teach? So,
Sure.
Well, back up. We want to know who she is and a little bit about herself.
Okay, I thought
And
we
include
did
that.
that.
Include
Something to
that.
it.
Sorry.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
yeah.
Go ahead.
You know, I started owning my first business when I was like 20, 21. And it was because I went to work for a garden center and I love taking care of plants. And they gave me a job. They said, drive your car, go to all these buildings downtown. Here's some water buckets. Go water those plants. And I walked in bank buildings and VIP offices, and I loved it because it was nice clientele. They were mostly nice people, educated, very nice interior spaces, beautiful plants. I was on my own, no boss, driving around. And I was already practicing yoga. So I started practicing yoga in the 80s before there were any yoga studios. It was a friend of mine. We both had danced.
Was this in Dallas?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I lived, well, I didn't live there yet. My first house I bought not long after I started that business, I was working for the company, I ended up buying it with a partner, and my father-in-law to be lent me the money for my share. Like, I'm so proud of you, here you go, have $30,000, there's your share of the company. And so she and I ran the business together. I was practicing yoga, and I bought a house down in Lakewood, and the house was like $20,000 in 1982.
If you don't know, that's
a nice area in
That's a
Dallas.
nice way of saying East Dallas.
Yeah, a little 1,000 square foot cottage
Yeah.
close to Lower
Wow.
Greenville. All right, and this guy used to lease space in a ballet studio on Lower Greenville and teach yoga. George Purvis, Iyengar, he was at the Dallas Iyengar Center. Just passed
Randy?
away like last year. No, George Purvis. But Randy practiced with me. He and I were both students.
Okay.
We know Randy.
I got a whole story
So
about Randy.
George used to bring Mr. Iyengar to Dallas. So I used to practice Iyengar yoga and water plants, and we had greenhouses, and I was always loading 18-wheelers with plants, big buckets of dirt, carrying water buckets all day, and I would practice yoga while I was watering plants. I would be warrior one, watering that plant, right? And make sure I carried evenly, held my posture correctly, so I would build my muscles in the right way, and my body would stay healthy. And loading trucks, too, is not an easy job. So we got an 18-wheeler of plants in about once a week. I would go to Florida every quarter or so, buy plants. Pretty physical business, and I loved it because I love being physical, and that's why I fell in love with yoga, was it kept me physical in a healthy way. I got scholarships to go places and train with famous teachers. I had all kinds of fun. But I didn't want to teach. I was busy running my business. Pretty soon I married my boyfriend. Pretty soon we had our son. I was the full-time running the business, and my husband was the stay-at-home, take care of my son. He did the Boy Scouts. He did all that stuff. Over time, people kept saying, you should own a studio. And I was like, no, I make money doing what I'm doing. Why would I got kids?
That's
I gotta send to
Right.
college.
Like, listen.
But what happened was I started teaching. I loved teaching so much. I was working that full-time. So I sold my business when I was in my 30s to a big corporation. And they trained me to run a branch. So it was Orkin Pest Control, based in Atlanta. They were doing a plantscaping division. They bought up plant companies like mine all over the country. They made me a branch manager. So I was business instead of production. I'd always been production, now I'm business. And they send me to Atlanta every quarter to present P&Ls. They taught me how to run a business. I'd already been running a business, but not like that.
Yeah.
And about 5 years, and I couldn't take it anymore because I'm really at heart an entrepreneur. But I'd learned to manage. I'd learned to run a business. I learned to manage by the margins, balance P&L, hire, fire, interview, search for employees. And think about it, in the plant watering business, you're trying to hire people that don't know anything about what you're doing. You're hiring a personality. You're hiring
Customer
characteristics.
service.
Yeah. Then you got to go teach them how to run the route, how to do the thing, and then you got to trust them to do what you said to do. Kind of like yoga teachers.
Yes.
Yeah. So anyway. Eventually, I was teaching 12 times a week, running a business, had my kid, by then 2 kids, and I went to work for Yoga Sport, which is okay, so wait, let me back up. This is how I start. All right, I took my first teacher training. Eventually, people taught me into it. I wasn't happy with that 200-hour training. It was more like, I felt like I still didn't teach well enough. I felt like I didn't know enough. It was more of a gym yoga training. And all my favorite teachers were at this gym that I went to near downtown. I was starting to lift weights and things because I'd lost a lot of weight running. I was running my kids in the baby joggers and not doing any resistance training. Went to the gym, and this one teacher I loved, I was like, where did you learn to teach? And she pointed me out to American Power Yoga.
Oh, wow.
Kurt Johnson.
Oh, okay.
So
wow.
that's where I did my second 200-hour
Oh, so you did two 200-hour trainings.
I did my second 200-hour training with Kurt. I got hired at a few studios by then. By then, I'd been practicing yoga for 20 years.
Wow.
And mostly Iyengar, but then Power Yoga became in the,
Yeah.
So then I started teaching for Kurt. I taught for Twist Power Yoga. I taught for Uptown Yoga. A few other, at some gyms, Gold Gym, World Gym, Great experience because you learn how to go clear the basketball court for yoga.
Right.
Like, get out of here, guys.
Right.
Right. And then I ran into Baron Baptiste came to town, and he was doing a weekend immersion down at Fair Park. I went to that 2-day training, and I was like, oh my God, that rocked my
This
world.
is it.
I love this. So I went to his 1-week boot camp, not knowing anything else about it. I'd never been to a Baptiste class. It was just that weekend-long training. I go to this training. It's a week long. It's 12 hours of yoga a day. It's healthy food, no caffeine, no sugar, all that. Roommates. And they all know what they're doing. They all know Baptiste yoga. I'm like just following as best I can. So you do a week-long training. You don't know what's going to happen next. You're totally thrown off your center. And I loved it. And I started teaching that way. And the way that is no music, which I'd always taught with music, essential language, few words, fewer the words the better. And you don't demonstrate. You don't stand in front of the room and demo. Now, I'd always demoed. I'd always used music. I'd always said how to get into the pose first and then the name of the pose. And when I started teaching that way, it was so essential and easy and clear, but very hard to learn to do. I was like, how am I going to teach without doing the poses? I have to feel it. But what I learned was I wasn't actually teaching them yoga when I was doing it. I'm talking about myself doing yoga to them. Now I walk around, I stand, I look, I see what's missing, and I try to say what's missing clearly and articulately. And another way that we teach in this style is you are speaking to somebody, and you want that body to do what you're saying. No one else knows. They may not even know you're talking to them, but you're looking at that right knee and you're saying, bend your right knee deeper. And you say it to that person that way, and everybody does it.
Right.
I love
But it sounds and it feels different because you're actually talking to someone. And when I teach teachers, I'll say, if you don't really care if they do it or not, don't say it. So they'll say something and no one does it, right, when they're new. And I'll say, why'd you say, and then they go on. Why'd you say that? Well, because blah, blah, blah. Well, but they didn't do it. Say it again a different way. If they don't do it after you say it again 2 or 3 ways because it didn't land the first time, touch somebody, show somebody, point to something. That's the other thing is we touch. It is a specific way of touching. And at my studio, so I kind of go back and forth, but what happened was I did the Baptiste training. I did the 1 week. I discovered a Baptiste studio here in Dallas, Yoga Sport. I started practicing there. She hired me. Before I knew it, I was assisting her with her teacher trainings. I'm kind of a manager, but I'm also still full-time corporate.
What's her name? Sorry.
Angela Wagner.
She reached out to me for a Zoom call. It's funny because I want to, before you go, I want to stop you really quick just because there's so many things that I want to make sure that our audience knows about. I have to unpack. First and foremost, the plant business.
Yeah.
Because I'm a spiritual, like I love to look into the room or into the wherever I'm at and figure out where's the spiritual connection to anything I'm in. So our 10 toes down, being rooted and grounded. During that time, did you ever use that practice of feeding the plants? Because you are pouring love into these plants.
Yeah,
like,
well.
did that ever grow you into the
practice? Well, you're going to get me deep, but okay.
So this is our podcast. We go in deep. Sorry.
Because
just so we give them nuggets in between, right?
In yoga, we speak about pranarama practice. And just with plants alone, that's an inhale, right? Oxygen, exhale carbon dioxide to the world so you can grow.
I did not grow up in a family that was religious.
Okay.
I was never gone to church, but I would spend the night with a friend and I'd go to church and I'd be like, what is this crazy stuff? What is this?
Yeah.
But behind my house there was woods and creeks, and I used to hang out in the woods and just sit. And this is where my spiritual side of me developed, sitting in the trees by the creek in nature, because I would watch, like, the leaves fall off the trees. That's interesting. And now look, they dissolve into the ground, and then the trees get stronger. And when I lost my grandmother, who I was very close to, she was like my mom. And back in those days, no one talked to you about death, dying.
Yes.
She and I were tight, and she died of a heart attack on the golf course, like suddenly, no warning. And she was about the age I am now, not very old.
Wow.
So when my parents came and said, she's gone, I was like, no, what do you mean? No such thing. I don't understand. And when we went to the funeral home and saw her, I mean, I thought I was.
Wait, how old were you when she passed?
I was 11.
Oh my God.
I lost it.
Just gave me chills.
I mean, and so it started my search. Okay, so being in the woods, in the trees, and seeing how things recycled, and knowing my grandmother's spirit and her love, I was like, there is no way
She's not gonna come back.
this disappears.
Right.
The body disappears, but the
Yes.
spirit does not. That's way too important. Now, I never got any of that from my family, and if I ever talked that way, they were all doctors and lawyers, and you can't touch it.
Science. Right. Yeah. Science based.
We don't see it. We don't. It
Right.
doesn't.
Right.
So then, y'all, before I opened that business, okay, see this scar on my arm?
Mm-hmm.
I love to climb trees. I was about almost 20, almost 21. Okay, I was in Austin. Beautiful day. I'd gone swimming in the river. I'd done all the fun stuff.
That's just what
Sunset's
Austin
happening.
is for, too.
Right. I had to leave because I couldn't earn any money. But then I climbed this tree to see the sun go down in my backyard of a house I was renting at 49th and Duval. 30 feet up. I'm about 3 stories high. And beautiful sunset. And my roommates just came back in town. They'd been out of town. I could hear them downstairs. So I'm coming down, and I tripped coming out of that tree.
Oh,
And I fell. And I had long enough to fall. I could think, how do I land? I curled up, stuck out my arm. So I crushed all this and broke my pelvis, and I was unconscious. So this is where, you know, the light, you see the light, and I had this voice saying to me, like, you got a choice. You want to come home and start again? Or do you want to stay and keep doing the work?
Oh my God.
And the other message I got,
This
This is how I know that I'm connected to Stacy.
Listen.
You know when you meet people,
Oh my
like
God.
I am in a space in my age where I am moving with intention. Like I want everybody who I'm supposed to know, I want to be present. And I knew that when I met you. Like the same thing, the energy, and you can't change that.
Wow.
And when you were talking about the plants too, when I worked at Visit Dallas downtown, that was the first time I ever saw people come into an office and water plants. And I was like,
plant lady.
And I'm like, I'm here. Like I've arrived. I'm in a place where I had a corner office.
You bougie now.
Yes, like I was, and I come
And
from
they pay
like,
someone to
and
water
they
my
pay
plant?
someone to water plant. And I said, someone actually comes in here
So-
and
and they
waters,
actually
and they
lease-
change the plants
They
out.
leased the plants.
Yes.
Yeah, I did all that, and I did holiday. But what I'm
sorry,
with
going
all that.
to-
Yeah.
yes.
So I also got told I got a good experience of all the stuff I was worried about in my life. I'm only 20. I'm worrying about shit. It was like, don't worry about it. Look how stupid this is. Stacy, anytime you get worried, do this. It was just like throw it
That
out,
was at
throw
20
it
when
out.
you fell
Yes.
down and that experience happened?
I had 6 or 7 surgeries to try to save my hand because it compartmentalized. The fascia closed
can
around
see
my
it.
hand.
Oh
yeah.
my gosh.
It tried to cut the hand off, so they cut it open to try to save it. Then they couldn't close it. Then they put a skin graft that adhered. It's a long story. Many surgeries.
Well, when you were in that moment, though,
Yeah.
sorry, did you talk to yourself when that message came to you?
I don't remember all the details, and it was almost like I kept dreaming it over and over again.
Yeah.
While I was in the hospital, I dreamt I couldn't remember at first how I got there. So it took a while for it to come back, and the dreams would come and show me, and there was like that wonderful light of love, just
Yes.
pure love.
Yes.
You know you're safe. You have a choice, and then you shouldn't worry about anything because this stuff is
Right.
all silly. Now, and after I got out of the hospital, I was going through my recovery. I was on a cane because my pelvis was broken, and a cast because this is all smashed up. But I started getting attracted to books about
Life after
afterlife.
death?
Yeah,
Yes,
so the
totally
Tibetan Book
same
of the Dead
thing.
and all these Gurdjieff, all these different books I started reading and studying and getting drawn to, and then yoga and then plants.
Wow.
You're
And
my
with
spirit
plants,
animal.
see?
That was the same thing that happened
so
to me.
that in general, your spirituality started to develop.
Yes.
After this like extreme fall.
Right.
It's like an
Even
awakening
the-
that happens
yeah.
to
And
us
it's
all.
little
also to
pieces.
kick me back in
Yes.
where I'm supposed to be.
Absolutely.
Because I would have gone off another direction.
Yes.
It kicked me back in, and within a year of that accident, I went to work for that nursery. And I told God, like,
Oh
listen,
my
guys,
gosh.
I had no money, I had no insurance, no parents supporting me. Now I have all these hospital bills, and I'm like, God, if you will just find me a job,
Yes.
I promise I'll do the best I can. I got that plant job. It was the perfect job for me.
Yeah.
I loved it. I did it so well. I started writing manuals, training other people, and that's when the manager, who was about my age, a woman, said, and she had a degree in horticulture, we should do this each other. We should do this together. The owner of this place he owned another business, and this was another, and she said, our clients don't even know him. They know you and me. Let's buy it from him. Let's do it ourselves. So that's how that happened. But listen, about spirituality and plants too. One thing I observed, watering plants, office after office after office.
Yes.
Be in office with a person who'd be like, hey, my plant,
Yes.
look, I love it. And that
Amazing.
plant would thrive. Next door down, guy would be like, I hate that thing. If you want, you
And you
just
can
start
see it.
plant with, Say, I'm watering them, same
Oh
plant,
my
same
gosh.
exposure to the sun. Nothing else I can see is different, but this guy's hateful and that guy's loving. And the plants,
Wow.
they do.
I know. That's why.
And I
Her
grow.
store,
Yeah,
Ade grows his own plants.
yeah.
And so
They
I see
respond.
that. They
Yeah.
respond to that.
They
yeah.
know the love.
Uh-huh. That's
They do.
amazing.
But
So-
that bleeds into the practice. Like I see so many alignments with you and I know we're not the same age, but I feel like even when I was 11, I experienced the first death of my aunt that was really close to me. Like it was detrimental to me too. But along the way, and then yoga, you and I both, American Power Yoga, and it's interesting how you have these paths of people. And I think that's why people are following you, because the energy that you bring to that, you bring your whole self to the practice. Talk about how you mentioned that post about how people are like, is it matter when you're teaching to one person and the
Yeah.
group of people? Like, what is your intention when you're walking into that room?
Okay, so when I try to get to the place at least half an hour early, because I got to ground down.
Right.
10 toes down.
Good.
So first I take care of the housekeeping and make sure I can open
Set
the
the
computer,
room,
everything, and
yeah.
the music's on, and then I stand in the room and I ground down, and I
Oh, I
open up the
love
channel.
Yes.
And I'm also Reiki trained, so I also call in Reiki
Yeah.
energy and Holy Spirit and God and Yeshua and Buddha and all of the teachers there are, and I say, here I am. I'm here for them. I don't need to know what to say or do. I walk in always with a little bit of butterflies and worrying, what am I?
Sure.
And then I ground down and I do that ritual that I have. And I say, I don't need to know what to say or do, because you are going to tell me what to say and do, and it's going to be whatever these folks need. It's not about my ego. Now, when I first taught yoga and I had to choreograph all my own stuff, I would sit there and work on
Your
choreography,
sequencing,
my
all your
sequencing,
stuff.
memorizing it, and then I get to class that day.
forget
You
it.
forget.
Yeah, or nobody could do
Or nobody
it.
else. You're like, wait, what was I
Hey, no one
thinking?
You can do it.
And my ego would be like, we're getting through this. I worked hard on this.
Right.
So now with this, the way I teach the JIP sequence is a 90-minute long sequence if you hold each pose for 5 breaths. But I can use those 11 sections any way I want. And I can put poses in, take poses out, intensify, modify. I can teach to who's there because I have this in my head.
The
I don't
outline
have
is
to-
set.
Yes, I don't have to
Yeah.
worry about choreography. So 100% of my energy and attention is watching the bodies in the room, feeling the energy. The other reason I don't like music now, I mean, I got nothing against it, and there's studios I must use it,
Yeah.
but I put it in the background, is because I want to use breath as
Right.
the rhythm. And breath is the focus. That's what creates the moving meditation. Also, Barron says music can be a crutch
Yeah.
because you can use it so easily. I mean, I use
And
it when I
motivation.
run. I use it when I
For
run.
motivation.
I put
Yeah.
on the Disney
Yeah.
Channel music. I get
Disney,
motivated.
Disney Channel music. You don't listen to no Disney Channel
It's
music.
kind of like that though.
I know.
So anything upbeat, get me going running when I'm not feeling it. But in the yoga room, the teacher is, I am training people to feel the energy and manage the energy with the tone of their voice, with their own body language. And you guys, y'all know, you've heard how communication works. It's not through words.
No.
We get done talking, people aren't going to remember the words we said,
Right.
but they remember how we looked,
How you
our
feel,
body language,
yeah.
our energy, the way you stand.
Right.
So when I'm doing teacher training, that's what I'm teaching is feel
Presence.
the energy, be present, look at the body. What do you want it to do? How do you say that? And then when I do mentorship, it's funny, y'all, the first thing I ask a new teacher is, what do you think you need to work on? Cueing. They always say
They
cueing.
always say that.
I need more cues. I'm like, no, you don't need more cues. You need to learn how to
I think-
tell that body what you want.
I think what they're saying is they don't, it's cueing, but they want to be confident in the cueing.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not they don't
So we
know the
teach
cueing.
essential language, fewer words better, because
Right.
people quit listening when you talk too much. You know, there's that standard way of teaching body part action, body part direction, point of reference. Reach your left arm up toward the ceiling.
Right.
Very clear. So we practice that. But
And that's hard for people, especially
is.
if they're, I know, having to explain. I try to teach this to Ade because Ade's very, he talks with his hands, you know, he's
Yeah.
like fishing and he'll start doing these things.
That's
And
good,
I have
though.
seen the difference when he started teaching yoga, how he becomes very laser focused now. And I'm like, you don't have to explain to anyone if they don't get it, if they don't receive it.
I
And there's
think-
always an urgency where people are like, let me explain myself. But when you're teaching, you don't necessarily
you don't
have
have
to.
time.
I say say the pose and look.
And see who's not doing
Is
it.
there someone who doesn't know how to do it? Tell them how to do it.
And
And-
I look at pose, cue, breath, and a motivation.
Yeah.
And if you can keep it within that time, those
Right.
4, boom, boom, boom.
So
and
yeah, and then for me in the style of class I teach, you've got the ritual of 15 minutes of sun A's and sun B's. It's always going to be the same because you're getting everyone's breath synced
Aligned.
up.
Yeah.
You're getting
Yes.
everybody's flow synced up, and when you get them all moving at the same time, the energy starts to build.
rolling,
and-
rolling,
Right.
Rolling down the river.
Keep on burning. Yeah.
I think it's the Netherlands, how they're like, whoa.
Oh my God, was that not
Hey, you got to
amazing?
sit over here.
With-
I'm going to let
what?
Ade finish this conversation.
Oh, yeah, you got
Yeah,
it.
I got to head out,
Okay,
but
okay,
please,
move.
keep going.
Take it.
So yeah, once you get them in the palm of your hand with the
Right.
sun A's, sun B's, you can do anything.
Yeah. You know, I love that because when I'm in class, I can feel that energy of that breath and that moving. And for me, I love music. And when I do take the Baptiste style class, I still hear the music in my head.
That's good.
And I'm just like, and I could be in the corner, I'm rocking, and because it's in my head, and it's just something that I love. And
See, I'm a dancer. And when people teach with music in the room, I will be dancing,
I will too.
or I'll be like, oh yeah, that song.
Yeah. Oh man, that's it.
It's-
And you know, sometimes that music just takes me to that spiritual moment too. Sometimes that I can't get to right away, and I know that particular song would do it for me. One thing I wanted you to speak about was how did you get into teacher training? That is.
Oh, how did
because-
I start doing
Yeah, how did you
training?
just start just in general?
Okay,
He's like,
so
let me do this. I'm
I
gonna
went
teach
to work
this.
for that Baptiste studio, Angela Wagner. We never got to how Veronica knows Angela Wagner.
yeah.
But anyway.
She know everybody. That's why.
Angela makes you quit all your other teaching gigs. You can only teach for her. So I gave up all my other gigs. I was only teaching for her, and then we had a falling out. And I was like, life is too short for this
Yeah.
bullshit. I'm out of here.
Yeah.
Then I wasn't teaching anywhere. And I went to a Baptiste training that was here in Fort Worth. And I was telling this sad story to all these studio owners, and they all went, open your own studio. So when I opened my own studio, and I mean, I signed a lease within 2 weeks of that training. I signed a lease. I hired a contractor.
Oh my God.
I got it rolling, and I put one of my good friends who was going to manage the studio for me in charge while I went to Brazil for 2 weeks. Then I came back, and I hired all my teaching friends from all these other studios, and I started teaching them how I wanted them to teach, and we got that rolling. And the question is, how did I start teaching teacher training? Okay, here's what's interesting. I got to tell this story.
Yeah, yeah.
But I was at Fair Park right after I started. State Fair was going on. I come into this booth of beautiful clothes from India and Indonesia, and I'm like, I want to sell this stuff in my studio. I meet the person at the booth. She owns it, and she says, you know, we travel around from fair to fair, but we live in Bali full time, and we're only here during fair season, and when it gets too cold, we go back home, and we leave stuff stored here. My family's here in Farmers Branch. She said, how about I bring stuff over to you, you sell it on consignment?
Wow.
Okay. As a result of that relationship, she said, I got a good friend in Baltimore who owns 15 studios, and since you're just starting out, you should meet him. I'm going to introduce you. Chris Blades and I, he owned Charm City Yoga. His wife was the Yogi. He was an astronomer that came to the States with the Hubble telescope, and he's a business person, so he's the business.
Right.
He and I would have a weekly call. Within 3 weeks, he said, you have to start a teacher training. If you don't, you won't be in business. That's just how it is.
Let me tell you something. Pause right there.
Yeah.
And the reason why I'm saying this is because it has been 12 years.
I know. You are
since
open.
When we,
No teacher training.
No teacher training. It's just like, what? Okay.
Doing fine.
All right, that's fine. Cool. What? Teacher training? All right.
I don't know how you did it.
And no one, that's what they tell us. Like,
I don't know how
no
you
one,
did
like,
it.
how did y'all do that? But
So he forced me.
yes.
I was like, I don't want to do that yet. I'm just opening a studio. He's like, nope, you got to get it done. So I started writing a curriculum. Now remember, by this time, I've done 3 levels of Baptiste
Right.
trainings, and I'm on the track to be in their leadership training.
Oh, wow.
Plus, I've been doing communication training and management training and leadership training since '92, and this was
Oh, wow.
2013. So
You're an expert
I
already.
stole lots of training.
Yeah, yeah.
So, and I created a
This
teacher
was,
training.
it was meant to be for you because of what you have said from the beginning, the fall, the plants, everything you've said has led you up to where you are now.
Perfect.
And
Time.
now you're just like an establishment within the yoga community.
Yeah.
So with that, I see why people continue to follow you and want to be peace and have peace of you.
Yeah.
Because you're continuing to push peace within movement and breath, which I think that's so
And
magical.
growth. You know, again, Baron Baptiste says, in Baptiste training, we say there is no status quo. You're either going backward, and that's okay if you choose
Right.
to take a step back, or you're going forward.
Right.
And when I teach, that's what I'm watching people, and I'm seeing, oh, I think they can go a little farther. I think they can go a little farther. So I'll push people.
I love when you say,
Yeah.
I'm going to make you think that you can jump over the building. When you said that in class one time, I was like, well, I feel I can do it anyway.
I do tell people you don't have to do anything I
Yeah.
say, but I'm going to talk to you like you do.
Absolutely.
Because I'm talking to your
Right.
energetic system, not your brain, because your brain's going to go, no.
Right.
It's reasonable.
Right.
And we're trying to be unreasonable.
Right. And progression is happiness.
Yeah.
Because as you progress, you find that you're going to be more happy. And as an instructor, you're pushing and leading that person to happiness.
Yeah.
Because that's how I see that.
Now, people come to me, and there are people who are like, not for me. That's fine. And there's people who love it. They get addicted.
Well, I think it is for when people tell me like, "Oh, that's not for me. I don't do that." Oh my God. Oh, girl, I can't. Girl, I am girl. I'm like, all right, that's fine. But
That's fine.
you know that I understand. But when they are in practice, you can see that they want to go further. Sometimes the class is just a lot right away.
Yeah.
But then they eventually trickle back in.
Yeah. And
They come
I
back.
do have people that start showing up for class, and they start going to sleep, I call it. Like, you can tell they've kind of gone somewhere else
Yeah.
in their head. And when that happens, I've had that happen 2 or 3 times. A regular student just starts to zone out, and they're not present. I'll take them aside after class and say, hey, I'm
What was
kind of
you thinking about?
noticing you're
Yeah.
disappearing. Now, do you want me to let you disappear? I'll leave you alone. Or do you want me to call you out? Because this style of yoga that we're doing is waking up. It's
Right.
about being present, waking up, not going to sleep.
Right.
And usually they'll say, Oh, you caught me. Yeah, bother me. Please
Yeah,
bother me.
yeah.
All right.
Pick you up. Pick
And
me up.
the other big comment I get after classes when people are new to my class is, you actually teach. You work on alignment, Stacy. Thank you for telling me to go deeper, to line up better. I love when you touch me. Thank you for calling me out on that. That's because I'm old school teacher, I think.
You
I
know,
don't know.
and a lot of times having the experience of being an instructor and also a student, you find what you like and what is connecting you to the practice. Like when I tell or students or instructors, I mean, you know, the practice is their practice. It's not my practice.
Right.
So, you know, I want to walk you through your practice, and hopefully you can catch those jewels that I'm throwing at you.
Yeah.
But not everyone teaches like that.
Right.
And speaking of teacher training, how do you get your instructors or students to connect to the practice of teaching? Because a lot of times I'm in front of the class, I'm going to demonstrate. This is what you do.
Well,
okay, cool, we're done, bye, guys.
Well, the hardest people to teach this style of teaching are the people who've already been teaching another way. You got to unteach them.
Yeah.
The easiest people to teach are the ones that have never taught. Because they've not learned those habits yet.
Yeah.
So, and I was one of those. I was a teacher who used to demo and use music and all of that. I thought, oh my God, how do you teach and not demo? So first you memorize the sequence.
Right. You know.
So they memorize the sequence and they're practicing it every day. So they're getting strong and they're feeling it in their own bodies. And I asked them to videotape themselves teaching and hear their voice teaching. And you know how it is. You start cringe, what was that? Or
Talking to
oh,
yourself.
love,
Oh
I
my
love
God.
that. That was good. Yeah. So, and then in my 200-hour training, which is a little over 200 hours, actually, 110 of it is practicing teaching. And while they're practicing teaching in small groups, so they keep switching, they get a lot of time in front of them.
A lot of reps.
Right?
A lot of reps.
A lot of reps. I am messing with them. So I have a lot of different drills
Right.
that I know are drills that are going to freak them out. I make them do it a lot of different ways. So I'm stressing them out. They're practicing it over and over again. And then I'm also messing with them. Like, what's going on in your head right now? Where are you right now? Why did you say that? If you're not going to make her do it, don't say it.
Right.
So, and I tell them that this is going to happen when training starts, because when you're done with this training, yeah, you'll be nervous sometimes. Yeah, you're going to be scared at an audition, but you're going to be unmessable with and authentic, because we also teach them to say what's going on while they're
Right.
up there. You know?
Because it is challenging as an instructor. You know, I come with the background of fitness, so for me to go get my 200 hours, I was like, I know the anatomy. You know, I just now want to know the difference of the breath. Now I want to know this. Now I want to tap in here.
Fine tuning.
Right, and someone coming from no background of fitness or health, and they want to be an instructor, I noticed that is a learning curve for them also. So then now we're trying to connect them to learn breath, learn spirituality, and then movement. And now in
Right.
200 hours, here you go.
Yeah.
You're like,
Well,
whoa.
and the spiritual part is a big deal to me. So we read a lot of philosophy and spirituality, and we're also reading history and the all the Gita. But what I'm doing with the way the reading unfolds, they always act amazed, like, oh my God, this book says what that book said. This book, oh, this is what he said. Yeah, because it's when you're reading truth, it's true, no
Right.
matter how it's said.
Right.
So we read it a lot of different ways, and we put it into the sutras. We read some fiction, history. We study the sutras. We see how it aligns in our everyday life. How do the yamas and the niyamas affect you every day?
Right.
In the smallest things, like keeping your word, non-stealing, like
Right.
not being late,
No lying.
no
you know,
lying.
Yeah.
And stealing is just like leaving something behind that someone else has to pick up. You just stole from being late, stealing people's time, right? Not obeying traffic laws.
You're just not
when
being
no one's
mindful.
watching. Yeah, but also being mindful,
Right.
but also being honest and upright, doing what's right when no one knows. when no one's watching.
What are you doing when the door is closed
Right.
by yourself?
So we do a lot of self-examination on that. They'll do a lot of reading, but then we also do a lot of journaling and
That's
discussion.
a lot of great trauma work too.
Yes.
You're going to bring up a lot of different
Emotional work.
emotions from
We
that.
dig into what are you afraid of? So when you get in front of the room, what is it you're hiding?
Fear.
Yeah. When you meet someone new, what are you afraid they're going to find out about you? What is it you hide? So it's like, and what we realize in the training is once you start hearing about other people's stuff, you realize, oh, they got the same stuff I got. It looks different, but it's the same.
Hey.
And then you love them even more because of the stuff they've been trying to hide.
Right.
They're trying to hide this stuff that's, oh, you're just like me. I'm trying to hide my stuff too. So here we are talking through this wall, trying not to see each other's stuff.
Right.
The minute it comes down, we love each other more, and so these groups get really bonded. And some of my groups have moved in as roommates together. A lot of them still see each other regularly.
Right, and
just
because they're
friends.
going through this, like in a fraternity or something, they're going through this challenge time, and then they come out on the other side of the burning sands. That's what we call it.
Exactly, yeah. They walk the desert.
Yeah, they walk
40 days.
Yeah, and so by doing that, they're able to connect within self because, you know, I think so many people find yoga as medicine. Even that's why you start to have the instructors. I want to be an instructor, even if it's because they see 100 people in class. But you know that bottom reasoning is, man,
They're trying
something's
to heal
calling
themselves.
you.
Yeah.
Something is calling you.
Yeah. And then I want to say too, a lot of people don't want to be instructors, but they want to dive in
Yeah.
and do the hard work for themselves. Now, a lot of people who tell me they don't want to instruct end up being teachers.
Oh yeah, and you know, I think it also helps grow you within. So when you become an instructor, because you're like, oh my God, I didn't like that. Oh, I messed that up. Oh, and so now you have to grow yourself even more.
I tell people all the time, like, I have a week where I'm like, God, I suck.
I can't believe I said
why
that.
am I doing this?
Right.
Should I even be doing this? Why am I doing? And then there's a week where you're like, yeah, I'm a
Yeah.
rock star.
Yeah.
I'm the badass in the
And,
room, you know?
You know, that's the discipline though, is that consistency, even if you don't feel like it. Now we're doing it even more. Now you're
Well, this is where mastery evolves. So mastery evolves from repetition, practice, showing up, doing it over and over. And another saying we have is you got to show up and suck
yeah,
to show up and shine.
right.
There is a sucky time.
Absolutely.
You got to work through it.
You know, repetition is the father of learning.
Yeah,
You have to start out bad in order to be great.
right.
You know, hustle means hard work.
Yeah.
And that's how I tell people, in order to get to where you want to go,
Practice.
yeah, practice.
Practice.
Practice doesn't make perfect.
So
it
I
makes you better.
don't, like I have trained myself over 6,000 hours. I did one training that was 2,000 hours by itself, and I've done many others.
Yeah.
And I'm 500-hour trained, and then I've led trainings 2 or 3 times a year, 200-hour trainings, and I've done 300-hour trainings too. And I'm having people ask me about advanced teacher training also. But I never feel like I know all there is to know, and I never feel like I'm the best teacher in the room.
And you know, with that being said, you'll never feel that way.
Yeah.
Because now we're talking about 2,500, 3,000-year-old practice that
Yeah.
is like, you have to, like, it's onion. Think about this
And
onion.
there's a reason why it's been around that long. Yeah.
Right. You have to peel.
Yeah. But I do like to remind people what yoga is, and it's the practice of connecting your body to your brain through your breath. And you're doing it, I say this every class when class ends. Thank you for showing up and paying to practice yoga on your mat where it's safe. That's great. But it doesn't matter unless you do it out there.
Oh, absolutely.
You got to do it out there.
I give this little saying in the practice when I say it.
Yeah.
And I would like inhale and then exhale in case you got to slap the shit out of somebody.
Yes.
Because your breath is the difference between,
right.
Low emotional IQ and high emotional IQ.
You want to respond, not
Right, you want to
react.
respond in the right way.
Not
Because
react.
if I react, so
Yeah.
I say that, and it's my little joke in the class.
But it's true. The more I practiced yoga, the more I realized it's just a metaphor for my life.
Absolutely.
If you can see your life as your yoga practice,
Right.
and everything's a pose. I'm driving down the street. That guy just pulled in front of me. That's a pose. I gotta breathe. I've done that before too. I've pulled in front of somebody like that, so I can let it go because he didn't mean to.
Right.
He's not trying to
He
kill me.
rushing. Yeah. We don't know what he's going through.
Yeah.
And just it creates patience, it creates love, understanding, and if we had more of that in the world, we'd be in a better place as a whole. Just my background, your background, it all brings us to the mat, which is the four corners of our mat is our world. That's what I tell people. And being 10 toes down on your mat, and you're going to go through all those trials and tribulations. You're going to have to use one breath at a time. We're going to reach our asanas. There's got to be an alignment. There has to be an action. We got to reach out, so those things are, as repetition makes us a better person, period.
Discipline.
And so that's why I tell people, oh, dang, you do yoga? And I was like, yeah, I do. You should practice it too. And it stopped us from doing so many other things because now I'm more patient, I'm calm.
Yeah, and make yoga be a part of
your
everything
life.
else.
Yeah.
That's it.
So that's ultimately why I wanted to have you on the podcast today, is show people like your story and how did you get here, and because we know Miss Shepherd, Stacy, but no one has ever I want to talk to you. How did that happen?
Well, I got to tell you this too, because we were talking about how life just puts you where you're supposed to be for the next thing. And I started my life in a very affluent family, private schools. I was raised that you're going to go to school and meet someone you'll marry. You'll never have to work. Be a good social host. I was taught to be a hostess.
Right.
We didn't even talk about money. That was rude. That kind of thing. Like lived in London for 4 years in Hyde Park. That kind of
You
upbringing.
got 9 lives, girl.
I know, right? So I tell people in my training, I look around and here I am, and here's these people I'm training, and I'm old enough in earth years to be their mom, at least, if not maybe their grandma, depending on their age. And I'm like, sometimes, guys, I look around and I think, if I just settled down, I could have just been laying back in a nice big house with a family and a husband and all that. But, no, that's not my path. So thank God. I won't tell my whole story. It's too long. But things happen.
We got volume 1, volume 2,
Things
episode
happen.
3.
You know why? That I found myself with no money and with no home and with no family to support me. And I found my way just because I knew I could. And but I could have gone another way, right? I was homeless for a time, just living in other people's houses. But I always knew I was okay. I always knew I'd be okay. And I've been married twice, and I'm living with a guy now that I've been with for 6 years.
Oh, wow.
And I've got my 2 kids who are grown.
And you just came back from seeing your son? He's a
Yeah.
Buddhist?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
His monastic name is Nyat Kwang, which means brother first light. And when I saw him this last time, he's been at the monastery now about 5 years, ordained for almost 2. He's a novice monk. He'll be fully ordained when they decide he's ready. But when I saw him this time, oh my gosh, I mean, it was like my son was reborn.
Oh.
And we were so close, and we went, I mean, he apologized for things that happened when he was a kid. I'm like, no apology. Perhaps it all unfolded perfectly. You're where you're supposed to be. I'm where I'm supposed to be.
Right.
But Brother Nyat Kwang used to teach yoga with me and lead teacher trainings. And he doesn't do yoga at all up there now. But meditation
Is a part of yoga.
Yes, they meditate for an hour every morning in a group, and they meditate in the evening. And while they're working, they're meditating. While they're walking, they're meditating. A bell rings. If we were sitting in a public room a bell would ring every 15 minutes, like a clock,
Uh-huh.
and we'd stop talking and just breathe and smile.
Wow.
Now, when I was there, I got to go to some of the Dharma talks, and they had live videos of Thich Nhat Hanh, a very famous Buddhist monk who founded the monastery. And it was him speaking in Vietnamese with subtitles in English, but he was teaching and while he was talking, the bell would ring and he'd stop talking. And he'd just smile. And
Wow.
he opened his eyes after one of those breaths and he goes, "It's a sin not to smile when the bell rings."
Wow.
And one of the things I remember at the end of one of those talks that I'm carrying with me and read it, I wrote it in my journal, I read it every day, is it's a miracle that you walk on this earth.
Mm.
When you wake up in the morning and you've got another 24 hours, it's a miracle that you've got this 24 hours.
Absolutely.
And then you honor your whole family, your ancestors, by being happy for that 24 hours. He said, don't wreck it.
That's
Just
crazy.
be happy.
I go to the barbershop. That's a cultural space for us.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
go to the barbershop. There's a lot of stuff happening in the barbershop. And I tell my barber, I never forget. I say, hey, what are you doing for Christmas? He said, waking up.
I love
That's
it.
exactly what he told me.
It's a blessing.
And it was just so profound when he told me that. I know he's like / comedian, but it was just so profound when he told me that. And it was like, had a product 25 years ago. And I always kept that in my head.
Right?
And I always say
Better
that.
than the alternative. Yeah.
Keep waking up and doing my best and smiling.
Smile. Have fun.
Yeah.
Be joyful. It's another day we got on the planet.
It's another day.
And like, you have alternatives to that. You can be not happy. But
Yeah.
why?
I mean, some people do choose that. It's pretty crazy. But,
But that's part of what we work on in the training too,
Yeah.
is victimhood.
Yeah.
Where are you being a victim
Where are you
of your
being
life?
a victim?
And victims are scary, man.
Yeah.
Victims are the scariest
Yeah.
people there because they feel like somebody owes them.
Right, and they've been programmed. And again, remember, you have to deprogram people. So, man, that is so amazing. Are you guys going on any trips this year?
Yeah.
And what are you guys going to
We're going to do this retreat to, it's the Casa Alma. It's in
Guatemala?
Antigua, in Guatemala.
Antigua?
And it's October 21st through 26th.
Oh.
Now, this happens during one of the weekends of the teacher training. So we're going to be off that weekend, but anyone who wants to go on the retreat and be in the training gets $1,000 off the retreat if they register for both.
Listen,
No,
Guatemala?
yeah, I want to say Andrea, the organizer, she was in my teacher training 2 trainings ago. She's in it just for herself, not to teach. But in the training, we create a created future that would not happen if we didn't take some sort of action, and we commit to
Oh,
taking
wow.
action to a new future. This was hers.
It's asset mapping.
Yes.
For those of you who don't know.
She wanted to set up retreats, and she said, Stacy, if I create a retreat, will you teach? And I said, you get me there for free somewhere beautiful where I can teach yoga? Hell yeah, I'll go.
Oh, wow.
This is her hometown. It's
Wow.
where she's from. So she knows everybody. Her family's been there for generations.
I think Veronica and I were trying to sneak out away from the kids and go. But if not, I believe one of us is going to
Well, I
go
hope y'all
and be
can
more
make
of
it.
her than
Yeah.
I.
It's a 150-year-old casita, 10 rooms, heated pool, chef-prepared food. Andrea's going to lead us on shopping excursions in the village, climbs into the volcanoes, like half-day climbs.
Climbs into the volcanoes.
Not into them, but
just
up the
kidding.
mountain,
just
right?
kidding.
There's one active volcano, she said, you can see at night.
Oh, wow.
And then I'll do restorative yoga in the evening, just deep stretch, relaxation. We'll do some meditation walks. And in the morning, we'll do more vigorous yoga to wake up. She's got welcome gifts set
Oh,
up
wow.
and everything. She's so organized.
So I'll have this information below so you guys can click on that or just click the description below and then look in the detail to the Guatemala trip that Stacy is hosting. And
you might be at.
I might be at. If I'm not, I'm sure going to go one day. One thing that I really would like to tell people more or less with Stacy being here, it brought a big energy to the studio. Yes, we've never done teacher training in 12 years. And now we're doing teacher training at V12 per Stacy. I get to see the instructors coming through your class, and I'll stay quiet, and I'll just listen. I'll go take your class, and I've gotten to meet the instructors or the graduates, and I think it's profound that you're doing that with them. Because not to say any other teacher training is not worthy, but as a owner of a yoga studio, I have so many auditions under my belt. So many. And I've learned to stop people in their audition, hey, watch this, do this, do this. And I noticed them coming from your audition, even though I've said something and say, hey, let's take it this direction here because this is what our audience is. They still know how to create that outline and curate it toward. That's the magic.
That's the goal. Is you want to be able to take this and make it be whatever you want it to be. And feedback is part of our practice. Taking and putting feedback in.
Absolutely.
Yeah. We call it shining a light. So when you give those, let's go this way. You're shining a light.
Shining the light on it.
Yeah.
I'm shining the light on it.
You got a lot of light to shine.
I got a lot of light to shine. This little light of mine. Well, man, I just wanted to give you a shout out, man, that, we love you and everything that you brought to the practice.
Thank you.
Thank you for being a part of V12. We keep a little gangster over here,
Thank you for making such a nice home for me.
Oh, yeah.
Really.
Robin,
Veronica.
Shout out to Robin.
Yeah, Robin.
For putting this together.
Well, and then Decca came to my workshop.
Oh, yeah, he did.
Then they all followed him over here.
Oh.
And you already hired Tony before I met you. Tony was one of my graduates. I didn't even know you.
I didn't.
Yet. Yeah.
And they were I was like, who is this True Fusion people?
Coming from me, yeah.
What?
Funny.
True Fusion? All right. Yeah. Yeah, have them call me.
I want you to know, though, I have been leading for 10 years teacher trainings, at least a couple times a year, sometimes more. And y'all, I never, ever get weary of it or tired of it. And it's all my weekends for 3 months.
Yes, it is. All of them.
And so I want you to know, why would I do that? I love it. I love what I see come out of it. These people, all the folks that come through the training come out somehow shifted. And most people tell me they got more out of it than they expected.
Absolutely right.
So I'd love to see people come sign up. I'd love to get to know more people. Thank you for giving us a home for it. And I love contributing to
Mi
V12.
casa, su casa.
Yeah.
The trap is your trap. Don't say. Well, I really appreciate you stopping by.
Thank you.
Can you let them know when your class is? And,
yeah, absolutely. So I teach here Saturday morning at 9 a.m. It's a 75-minute class. Sunday at 4:30, it's a 90-minute class, and 90 minutes is how it's supposed to be taught. It's not any harder. It's just we got more poses we get to work on. We get longer in hips, we get longer in shavasana, we get longer to balance. Come join me. Come figure out the fun. And I always teach to who's there, so you don't have to be advanced or experienced. You can be a beginner. You don't have to be a beginner. Anyone's welcome, anytime. Teacher training starts August 14th. The retreat's in October. You got any questions? Reach out to Ade. He's got the answers.
Sometimes. Or my wife does. So
and if you're a member of V12 and you're interested in teacher training, that's the best deal. You buy a membership and the teacher training, and we're giving you a deal because you're a member. You don't have to be a member, and you get free classes during the training, but the best deal is be a member, do the training with the membership.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Listen, I always say these things at the end of my practice. I have people put their hand on the heart, hand on your stomach, close your eyes, breathe, and always remember that you're worthy, you're supported, you're loved, and most of all, you are able. Until next time, stay 10 toes down. Hustle means hard work around here. It's not easy, though. All right, y'all. I'll check in with you later. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you, Ade.
We'll see y'all next time.
Bye.
Peace up. Namaste down. Perfect.
Rain down, Lord.